Find yourself a booth, order up a cold one. This is the Spring Bar.
Hey everybody, welcome to Spring Bar. Glad you have you here. I am Florida Mike on location, on vacation. I am with my co-host Joe in the OC. You can see him in the camera next to me. And we have KC on the line. He's kind of like our correspondent in the field, as you will. You can't see him, but you'll be able to hear him. Gentlemen, how you doing today?
Good. I've started my 6-hour trip back home from drill with my units. Still in my smelly uniform, so that's nice.
It's almost like he's Charlie from Charlie's Angels. You don't see him, but you can hear him.
Yeah, the man in the box. Oh man.
Well, we can kind of do sort of wrist checks and drink checks, I guess, and sort of get started there. I mean, KC's not drinking, I assume.
Yeah, no, I have a NOS, and then depending on how tired I am 2 hours out, I might slam a white monster. So
Those are the best ones.
yeah, I tell myself that they're low calorie.
Zero sugar, yeah, the whole thing.
Zero sugar. Well, I am currently drinking a limited edition, ultimate limited edition Coke creation product that may or may not have alcohol in it. And currently on the wrist is the Deep Sea B on a brand new strap I just picked up this morning. It's like a FKM. It's through the Neighborhood Watch Club. It's a sailcloth on one side, and this nice rubber is a little stiff, but it's breaking in pretty nice. I think it's going to be a real solid look here. I'm impressed.
Yeah, that's going to be a good look. I think that looks pretty cool.
Yeah, it looks nice. What do you got, Mike?
I'll have to take your word for it. I can't see it.
Yeah, you can't see, yeah.
You don't have us on your heads up display?
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
So I'm wearing the Lunar Pilot Snoopy. I switched out the white strap that was on my black one. I've got it on here right now. I like the all white look with the blue accents on here. I think that's pretty cool.
It is a good strap.
Yeah. And oh shoot, you know what? I didn't grab it. Hold on. Let me grab my drink real quick. Just you guys talk amongst yourselves real quick.
So
I suppose I forgot to mention that I took my tutor Submariner into drill. So that's what
you took it with you?
Yeah.
To drill.
I threw up some photos of it on my IG.
Lord, good for you.
Hey, Joe.
Hey,
How's it going?
Here's your
Cool.
drink.
Thank you. So I have a mojito. This is a ready mixed mojito because I'm not in my usual locale. Unfortunately, I'm in California with this guy here. So I have to do simplicity. So hey, cheers, Joe.
Cheers. Cheers.
How do you like the taxes?
The taxes, everything that I bought so far is tax free.
He's been bartering.
It's all been cash deals.
Mornings have been real rough.
Yeah.
What are you?
Well, I guess you haven't had to pay for gas out there.
He hasn't had to pay for
No,
gas.
I haven't.
Yet.
I've had to see how much it costs though. It's
Yeah.
not pretty.
We've got a variance. What was it? $3 from between different pumps.
Yeah,
like $7 in one place, $4 in another.
Yeah, one block to another.
Yeah, it's impressive. It's impressive. Yeah. So, Casey, are you wearing the Tudor right now? Is that the only watch you brought?
Yeah, that's the only watch.
Only watch you brought. So you didn't have like a Boond debacle this time.
But I mean, this time it was a very admin heavy thing, so it's not like I was out in the field.
Okay.
So normally on the lighter drills where I know that nothing crazy is happening, I wear a fun watch.
All right. So what do you have that came in new between this last recording and now?
Oh shoot! What did come in? I don't think anything. I don't think I got any new watches in. I did just impulse buy a vintage Seiko 5.
Oh, really?
That's
Yeah.
right, ladies and gentlemen. We're getting word that he just got in a vintage Seiko 5.
Yeah.
I'm doing the
Down
whole
the
news reporter
road.
bit right now. You'll see it in the video in the edit later, but I'm doing the whole news reporter or on the road correspondence.
On the road correspondent. We're breaking news. We're hearing a.
You know, every time you talk, you got to flash the picture of you up on the screen.
Yeah.
Well, I think I'll go next. I've got a few that have come in. So we'll start with Surfboard
Yeah.
from our friend in Japan, which is on another orange FKM Tropic strap. So normally, like, you get those the Tropic orange, and it's like that blaze orange, that really bright, like, don't shoot me, I'm not a deer orange. And this is more like, you know, traffic cone that's been out in the sun for 5 years. And it matches what's going on with the hands and the second hands. So it's kind of cool. It works really well. I was concerned that it wouldn't. And so that we got that one in. I also got in from our friend Luis. I got in this Bulova Ambassador from like 1928. Goal of this was I wanted a flip bottom watch. And these ones are really cool because the whole back kind of opens up. And then you've got there's a dust cover that goes over the movement. You know, it's what is that? Tiny ass movement. 10 AN. So, you know, not a lot of jewels, but a really solid, 15 jewel movement, solid workhorse movement. And of course it needs service. So that'll happen.
Something fierce. That one has a cracked balance wheel. I've never seen a cracked balance wheel before.
But the dial's just gorgeous, and you can still see there's a little flecks of radium still on it. So, you know, we'll see what comes from that. It's cancer. Was it asbestos or was it
I'm
radium?
gonna put it right against my head here.
Yeah. See,
It's a good spot for
see if you can get that to work on that spot for you. And then because I'm a good guy,
I'm sorry.
it's not a new watch alert. It's a return watch alert of one of this gold 666. And I sold that on eBay, and it was listed as, I'm not kidding, listed does not run, for repair, needs service. This is the movement. It doesn't work. I'm not sure what's wrong with it. I'm not a watchmaker. No returns. And guy got it. He's like, well, I want to send this back. It's crap. I'm like, well, yeah, it's crap. It doesn't work. Oh, it's just awful. Fine, send it back. He got the address wrong.
Oh.
Right. It's great. Well, set up the return, and he ends up sending it to my work address, but my home city. I was like, well, I don't understand why it came back to me. It's like, well, because you got the address wrong. So
how did you get it?
He sent it back. So he paid for shipping twice.
Oh, so it went back to him.
It went back to him and then came back to me.
He hated it that much that he sent it back twice.
Well, so then there was, in the middle of it, he was like, well, can you just refund me? I'm like, hang on, you want me to refund you and you're going to keep the watch?
And you can keep it. Yeah. No.
And he's like, well, unless I can send it back. He was like, why don't you send it back? Why don't you do that? So did that. And then finally, last night, after plying him with smoked meats and alcohol.
No. That's not how this went.
That's exactly how this went.
That's not how this went.
That's totally how this went.
Wait a minute. Don't show it. Don't show it.
You have your story and I have mine.
Okay.
Okay. Okay.
Proceed.
The new old stock Canadian 666, which is just absolutely gorgeous. It really doesn't get better than this. And I know because I've got 3 others sitting at my house right now, so in various states of repair. Just
in case KC is a little confused as to what's going on, because he can't see what we're showing here. KC, I have the NOS Gold Oceanographer 666, the one that Joe has been after for years. The one that I refused to sell. That is the watch that we're referring to. It is now Joe's watch.
I have the dealer sample NOS Gold Bulova 666. because I plied Mike and worked
Because-
my evil ways with him over smoked meats and lots of alcohol.
Because I bugged the hell out of Joe until this deal finally went through.
That's true.
I am now the proud owner of a late 60s Bulova Accutron Astronaut.
Okay. See, I was following some of this stuff on Instagram, so I could kind of know, but I wasn't sure what was traded for what.
You see how it
Yeah.
kind of went, how it went down? That was it.
On signed coffin link. So
I think that's a pretty sweet watch.
It's, you know what? It is. But the issue is like, it needs to be worn, and I don't wear it enough.
that's the problem is the gold watch sat in my box because I was too afraid to wear it. Joe needed to have it in his collection. I've been after him for this astronaut for at least 2 years now. I wasn't going to bring the gold watch with me, but I thought, no, I'll bring it with. I'll let Joe see it firsthand so he knows what he's missing out on. And then large amounts of alcohol were consumed. We had to have an independent adjudicator involved.
We brought in watches with Oliver.
Yeah. He
Okay.
was there to make sure.
Referee.
And the trade was made. So both watches are going to good homes respectively, and we'll each enjoy each other's watch.
Everybody's happy.
Everybody's happy.
But that's not all, because Mike has been a busy bee out on the West Coast. It's been a working vacation for him.
What's the next watch that I bought? So I bought 3 watches in California. This has been an expensive trip. I bought 3 watches in California. I bought one before I left from Florida, and I have 2 more that are on their way that'll be delivered tomorrow. So next up is, where's the camera at? Right here. The Caravel 666 dress watch. So this is one that you have 2 versions of this.
Right.
Oliver has a version
Yeah, I
of
like
this.
them.
Yeah, they're nice. They're really nice. Oliver's is different. Oliver's got it's like a 17 jewel.
Yeah.
These ones are 25.
These are 25. So this one is the worst one that you didn't want to keep.
I didn't want to keep.
You pawned off on me,
I did.
but I'm okay with it. It's
Yes, you are.
a champagne-y, damaged dial. Hands
Patina.
are
It's a patina dial.
incorrect hands. Really the garbage of Joe's collection, but I'm happy to take it home.
As you should. As you should. I'd be really interested to see what you do with that,
Well,
because it should clean up remarkably well.
yeah, no, I love the way this looks. I love the way it wears. The twisted lugs on it are just amazing.
It's like 33. They're tiny.
Yeah, it runs fast, but I think it just needs to be run over the demagnetizer and maybe adjusted a little bit, and we should be good to go. My next California purchase, and I'm also really excited about this one. I did not even expect to buy this watch. It just came up in conversation.
He was plied with alcohol and
bought
smoked meats.
a 1975 Caravel Clipper 666 on the original Tropic strap. This one came from Oliver's collection. He pieced this watch together with some of the best pieces he could find. The loom has aged to a beautiful dark cream. The bezel insert is brand new. The crystal is brand new. The case is amazing condition. He made me an offer I couldn't refuse, and it's coming home with me. So I'm really excited for that one.
I didn't realize that it was the fitted strap. That's really good.
Yeah.
I didn't know that.
Oh, it's fitted.
Yeah, so it's a
Normally,
curved
I think of-
it's a curved lug, and it goes right. So it's hooded lugs, but the strap is curved,
Mhm.
and
Is that
so
OEM?
Yeah.
it seems to be.
Yeah.
I mean, it's not signed, but the Tropics, they
Caravel
didn't.
Oh,
signed their Tropic
Yeah,
straps.
they didn't put their name on them at all. So, wow. Okay,
If it's not the OEM strap, it is definitely of the era from it.
it's close.
But I'd be willing to bet that's probably what it came with.
I
Because the case
That's cool.
is
it's
beautiful.
dude,
so-
it's really cool. It's really cool. Wait till you see it. Yeah, it's
Yeah, I'll have to double check my IG.
it's good. This is the thing, like, because I've got one as well, and this one is probably comparable to mine. I think that the loom on the hour markers is better. It's aged better. Mine's probably closer to more new old stock.
Yours is newer loom. Your case is far better because I did it for you. But
That case isn't bad though.
no, it's not bad. Moving on, this was a watch that I had bought that I didn't talk about in the last episode when we did the Jetstar stuff, because I didn't want to get too far into everything that I had purchased. But one that we haven't talked about on the show here is I bought a early 70s Rado Diastar. So events transpired. The one that I had, I no longer have, and I didn't want to be without one. So I wanted to buy something as close as I possibly could to it. This has the same tungsten carbide case, same hands, same red text on the date window, the same markers, but a silver dial versus a flat gray. So that's the only difference. This is on a real nice, I guess you would call it a bamboo style NSA Rado sign bracelet.
Expansion
Clasp. It's really, really cool. I'm super happy with it. I'm glad I have another one back in the collection.
The thing too, though, this one, like it's small. It's a tiny little watch.
It's like 37.
Yeah, but because the way the bezel is, and it drags into the dial, so it makes it look really tiny. But the tungsten makes it so heavy.
It adds the weight.
I mean, there's a ton of wrist presence, and then it's a 2-part case. And so you've got this really cool, sort of this matte gray over the polished bottom. It's nice. And then you have the little anchor dangles.
Yeah, the rotating anchor.
Yeah.
It's a good package. I love these watches, and I didn't want to be without it. And I'm glad I found this one for a great deal. I think I made an offer on it when it was accepted. I made an offer I didn't think he was going to accept, and he did. And so I'm real excited about it.
Nice. Yeah. It's a really solid little piece here. So
the rest of my new watches I don't have yet. I guess I can't talk about them.
You can't. They're not here.
They're not here. But there's 3. I've got 3 more watches that I guess we'll discuss next episode. Another one that I've been chasing for a very long time, and 2 more that are part of a 3-watch collection. Hint, hint, nudge, nudge. Say no more.
Speaking of which, Mike did bring out the new Jetstar, and I got hands on with that, and it's real good, dude. Casey, it's
and my only concern is that if it wears large, it's gonna steer me away from it.
I don't think it's going to be a problem for you. I don't think it's going to. I think it wears great, but we've already come to the determination that my wrist is bigger than Mike's by just a smidge.
So let me ask you this: do you like the way that the new Lunar Pilot wears on your wrist?
Not really.
It's too big, right?
It's just a little too big. It's not as bad as the original.
So this is 3.5 millimeters smaller.
Oh, okay, yes. Woo! That was no, I was trying to make sure I didn't hit a red light. That was pink. Good.
Oh, Casey's gonna die. We're gonna catch it on audio. The kicker about this watch, about this Jetstar, the bracelet comes straight down from the lugs. I mean, straight down. So whatever the size, lug to lug, that's it. And whatever bracelet you throw it on, it works so well, man. It's really
what's
cool.
the lug to lug?
Oh shoot,
I don't remember. I have it.
You didn't bring your calipers, because we know Joe doesn't have any.
I got calipers.
Joe has calipers, yeah.
They suck, but I got them.
But I'd have to teleport back outside into the Florida set, because that's how they do it in Hollywood here.
Well, no, you can't do that now because everybody's on strike. So
yeah, that's true.
It's a thing.
So I made my own set out there.
Yeah,
the makeshift patio.
So while you've been off gallivanting around, the southern climes, Mike's been out here and we've been doing a bunch of stuff, and so we're gonna do
we're gonna do a bonus episode,
just a little special on what our week has been.
There's a lot to cover that's been going on in the week, and Casey, you said it. You've kind of followed along Instagram. Try posting all this stuff on 3 different Instagram accounts. I am so confused that I think we need to take a moment to dissect everything that's been going on for the last 4 days here.
It's true.
But it's been a lot.
But the purpose of this episode, if you've been a follower of the show and you've been
this is the Casey episode.
This is the Casey episode that he's not going to really be in. Which is also sort of part of the course. So if you've been following along with us and playing at home, KC has been on a journey to come up with the perfect 7-watch collection. That's been the goal. That's been the drive. And along his journey, he has had some trials, travails, turns, and zigzags, along with some sketchy Rolexes as well.
I think at some point I heard the phrase, "This is not going to work."
So Casey, tell us where you currently are, not physically, but on your emotional collecting journey.
The emotional.
Physically, you're on the road, but your emotional collecting journey. Where are you at on the 7-watch collection? Right? What's the current 7 watches?
So the watches that I have now in this collection is Tudor Submariner. And that took a lot of hunting because I wanted this, specifically the last model they made, because it came with a unidirectional bezel and sapphire crystal. Then the next one is a Rolex Explorer that was really just not an impulse buy, but I kind of set out. I was like, let's see if I can get a Rolex from an AD back when it was really tough to get one. I don't know if things are changing now. So I ended up getting the call after 3 months, and I was kind of like, well, when you get the call, you have to, right? So I ended up with that. I got a solid gold 14K Rolex Oyster Date. I bought that to mark my completion of all the training I needed to become officially an engineer officer in the United States Army. Then I have a Speed Sonic as my eccentric wildcard watch. I wanted something that could tie back to my love of Bulova and my love for the Speedmaster. When I saw that, I was like, that's perfect. And then I bought a Cartier tank. This one doesn't
hang on. We were just talking about this. What is the name of that watch? What is it actually called?
To my understanding, it's the Cartier Trinity.
Trinity. Okay.
Huh.
But when you look up Trinity, that spirals off into some of their jewelry options, and there's a couple other tanks that fall into the Trinity category. And the Trinity aspect comes from the 3 different types of gold used. You got yellow gold, white gold, and rose on the dial.
Because we were looking, Mike had seen one. I'd seen it too. There was somebody who had that on the
gold bracelet.
Well, there was the gold bracelet that I think is just a great look. I mean, it's good on leather, but it was like a gold brick bracelet. But there was also it was python, yellow python or something like that.
Yellow and gold scaled python. It looks gorgeous.
It's awful.
Strap. It is not awful.
It's horrible.
I'd wear that all day long.
Awful.
Yeah, that account you're talking about, I can't remember his name, but he's the guy who, when I saw that watch, I was like, I need it.
The watch is fantastic, but not that strap.
But that brick bracelet you're talking about, that's from Strapsco, and I have one.
Do you
I needed to, yeah. I had to spend some time with a file to get it to fit. And I filed the bracelet, just to be clear.
We were okay. Yeah, thank you, because we were looking for that, and the only thing that would come up was like Vermeil. It was at Cartier Vermeil, and you could look through it.
That's it on the Python strap. I'm holding up to the camera. I think that's an awesome.
So, all right, this is super confusing, right? So the dial, I guess, is part of the Trinity collection. Vermeil refers to the fact that the case is solid silver,
with a
but
gold
it's been
plate.
plated with gold. Yes.
And what year is that, though? Your watch? Do you know?
I think it's 90s, because that was when the Must de Cartier was really big.
Right. Yeah. On the brick, man, that's good.
It is.
Yeah, I need to throw it back on there, but I might need to do some more filing, because it's an 18 millimeter strap, like that's the lug width. But then the bracelet I got was 18 as well. But when I went to go mate them together, tolerances were off.
There's 18 and then there's 18.
Yeah.
We're averaging to 18 or not. Yeah.
Well, 18 with a French accent.
Wow.
So so I'm looking at the account that we're referring to. He has it here. He says the Must de Cartier Tank Vermeil Trinity.
All right, there you go. We'll go with that as the official name. All right, so that's 5. We've got the Tudor, the Explorer, the Oyster Date, the Speed Sonic, and then the
Cartier.
Cartier
The
Must
tank,
Cartier,
the
the Vermil
bless you.
Trinity.
We'll just call it the speed watch because it sounds like you're sneezing. when
Okay,
you
so
say
that's 5. What's 6?
Then we have the Speedmaster Reduce, which was the first stupidly, I wouldn't say like first real watch. I hate when people say that crap, but the first obnoxiously expensive.
First obnoxiously expensive watch. Okay. And then?
And then I have a Breitling Aerospace. And that one also was kind of like an impulse. It doesn't really have, what I want is I want these watches to have a purpose, so like a fit, a mold. And I think that one's supposed to exist in the GMT space. So, you know, I've got a dive watch, I've got a field watch, I've got a dress watch, I've got a fancy pants watch, wild card watch, and then some traveler watch. I feel like that's kind of covers all sorts of possible scenarios.
I mean, when you talk about what the watches do and where they should go, except, and I'm going to call you out on this.
Oh.
I am, but it's not. I don't think that this is necessarily a negative because you have your day job, and you've been posting shots of you going to your day job, and that's a sports coat I'm seeing.
Yes.
So it's different than your one weekend a month job.
Yeah, 1 week in a month if I'm lucky.
Right. So your 1 weekend a month job, where you are wearing a completely different kind of sports coat. The color palette is not the same, and yet you need to have watches that you can do that with. So,
right.
How are you balancing this idea? Okay, this is my 7-watch collection, which I don't think anybody's going to argue that that's not an exceptional 7 watches.
that is not an exceptional. No, not at all. However, are you claiming you have a 7-watch collection? Because we all know that there's watches that we haven't talked about that you have.
No, I've got other watches, but that is a 7-watch collection. A collection of 7 watches that I've set out to curate. The other ones are just watches I have.
Okay. So what is okay? Break.
So, hold on. Roughly off the top of your head, how many other watches do you have?
Probably about 15.
Okay. Somebody,
hang on.
Somebody
wait,
out there
wait.
in La La Land, do the math because neither one of us.
Wait,
is in the shape to do it right now.
1, 5,
15.
15.
Yeah.
15. Yep. 1, 5.
How do you live?
Huh? How I live?
How do you live? I think I just with the trade-off that I just got, I think I might be pushing 80.
I think I bought 15
wow.
watches in the last 6 weeks.
I think you bought 15 watches in the last 6 weeks. I think you're right.
Yeah.
So
I don't know. But so I guess that kind of can circle back to that emotional piece you talked about at the beginning.
Yeah.
These watches, I kind of evaluate whether or not when I wear them, do I get some sort of enjoyment out of it? And so far, all the pieces, when I wear them, I'm like, okay, this is why you are in the 7-watch collection.
I get it. No, I get it. I think that the choices that you've made and where they fall within a collection, right? Because you're talking, okay, I've got a diver, I've got a traveler, I've got a field watch, I've got a dress watch, I've got a better dress watch, I've got a chronograph, I've got, you've nailed kind of all the categories. The only thing that might change in that would be if you find something that you like better.
Well, and that's what I was going to ask, because I think you had said one time that the aerospace is going to be something that you want to trade up to a GMT. So is that still on rocky grounds?
That's absolutely what I want to do with it.
Yeah.
Yeah, because you've been talking GMT for a little bit, but you were thinking Seiko, Grand Seiko?
Yeah, I'm thinking Grand Seiko or maybe a Explorer 2.
Yeah.
It all depends on where I'm at financially.
Okay, so but explain to me then, because it doesn't work when you're talking Explorer and Explorer 2. Because that
is very interesting. I don't know.
right?
I'm not sure what point you're getting at, but I've also had like troubles with that.
Yeah, right. Because you seem to have branched through a variety of different brands. And we can make an argument, okay, that Tudor's really Rolex, except it's not. It's really not. And particularly when you're in the collector community, everybody knows that. So, and then you've got this, your gold Rolex, which is a gold Rolex. You can't really argue with a gold Rolex. You just can't. It's like, okay, and that sort of puts it into a category that's separate from everything else. It's like, all right, cool. If you were not going to have a gold Rolex, what would you have? You'd have a Cartier. Okay, check. So when I think about like the Explorer and the Explorer 2, aside from the GMT feature, there's a lot of similarities that kind of go on there in what the watch does, kind of what the functionality of the watch is, sort of your go anywhere, do anything watch. I think that the Explorer is much more dressy. You can pull that off with your sports coat a little bit better than you can with the Explorer 2. And it's not just the pop of orange that goes with it. So, I mean, that's the question, because I think that like the Seiko GMTs, with the exception of the bezel, right? If you get that sort of day-night bezel, that bicolored bezel, which is not exactly even.
See, I don't like that.
It's weird.
It's too sporty. I don't like the sporty Grand Seikos. That's the problem I have with them.
Yeah.
The dress Seiko GMTs are beautiful looking, but those, when you start putting a bezel on there and you putting other things on it to turn into a sport watch, I don't think it works well for Grand Seiko.
Okay.
That's a pretty one.
So it's the Grand Seiko Sport SBGN 005G. It's a blue dial. It's a silver case, got a red set. I know somebody who's got that, and we were talking about it at the meetup that we were at on Thursday. And he has been wearing it for the last couple of meetups. He's like, this is the perfect travel watch. I'm like, okay, go on.
39 millimeter.
And it's terms and conditions.
Yeah, cookies. I didn't accept the cookies.
You bastard. So it's this gorgeous deep blue dial. It's a really thin profile watch. It's a fantastic bracelet. It's really comfortable. It lays really, really flat. But his point is it's a sleeper watch. It's Grand Seiko. It's
fixed steel bezel.
And 24-hour bezel on top of that. The markers are excellent. GMT in red GMT hand. But it's cheap enough that if somebody comes up and says, hey, give me your watch, you can throw it at them and run away, and you haven't broken the bank. He says he won't wear, he travels a lot. He's doing international travel. He's like, this is the only watch I bring from now on. You got enough water resistance. Like, I can go get in the pool. I can go get in the jacuzzi. I can wear it in the shower. I don't have to worry about it at all. And it's dressy enough that it goes with the sports coat, but you could probably take it into the field too if you needed to.
Are you okay with the 9F quartz? Because that's what this is.
It is a quartz movement. That is a kicker.
That's tough. I respect it.
Yeah.
But if I'm going to drop $1,000+, I don't want a quartz watch.
That's fair. Okay. So you're looking for a GMT, basically. That's what we're talking, right?
Yes. Yep.
Okay.
And so I guess maybe my idea of travel is slightly warped, because whenever I travel, it's almost always for the military. So I'm thinking I'm going someplace. It's not for fun. It's for heavy activity. So I have not ever really done business travel for my. When I think of traveling watch, I'm thinking sports.
Okay. I can get that. And it makes good sense to me. So we'll talk about your other work watches, your military watches, right? So you got an assortment of Casios. You've got that Bund. You've got like the Breitling fits into that kind of, right?
So yeah, the Bund. So when you went out on your last epic playtime, you brought the Bund with you, and you were really excited about bringing that, and it turned out to be a huge letdown. So what's the story behind that one?
There we go. Inquiring minds want to know.
Yeah. Actually, there's one of our listeners who's been messaging me about it, and I keep telling him, "Oh yeah, I'll get to it." But yeah, this is a good time to explain.
This is for you.
So, being of German heritage, I was like, dude, this is going to be badass. German military watch used by moi in a military setting. Well,
Right.
the downside of it is.
Well, okay, hang on. Let's talk for a second because that's a beautiful watch.
Yes.
It's aesthetically pleasing. It's a great analog digital. Digital's down at the bottom. There's only one screen, so it's not like the Breitling where you've got the two screens that split the center pinion. Right.
Yep, and the screen is kind of like a smile. It's a curve.
Yeah.
A little bit of a smile. And it's a multi-function screen at the bottom, and you've got two pushers, three pushers,
4. You got a crown and
then three pushers.
Okay. And it's all titanium. It's got a case back that has the German Bundeswehr.
It's fantastic.
Emblem.
It's an excellent watch.
So, a couple things that I need in a military watch is, I got to have digital because depending on what kind of situation I'm in under a lot of pressure, my brain starts to run a little slow, especially if I got to make multiple decisions as an officer. So having a digital display that lets me read time very quickly and accurately is important. And then because I don't have an office job in the Army, I'm an engineer. I'm going to be outside when it's wet and when it's dark as crap. So I need to have room of some sort. Well, for some reason, the Germans are supposed to be like over-engineer everything. Well, these jokers decided to cut costs apparently and not loom the dial. Because they probably were like, we have a backlight for the digital display. No problem. However, they decided that you can only use the backlight when you have the analog display set to the time. But let's say you actually bump it and then now it's into the chronograph. Now there's no backlight. Or you bump it and it
light up for any other function?
Yep, it can only light up if you have it set to time.
Okay. They probably spent more time trying to figure out how to program that than it would have been so much easier just to leave it alone.
Exactly. So, we're getting ready, and for the military listeners, this is JRTC, and for the non-military listeners, this is where we send all of our soldiers to get as close to combat without actually firing real rounds. So we have the laser tag system, essentially. All the weapons fire blanks, so it's close to bullets without actually sending a projectile down. The OP4, the opposing force, has genuine Russian equipment. We're talking BMPs, T-90, whatever the newest T-90 is, helicopters, all this shit, which is super cool. But yeah, so the stakes are, air quotes, a little high, and you're also being evaluated to see what your deployability looks like. So we're about to step off into the box, and for the last 5 days, I'm playing around with this watch, and the damn thing keeps bumping. Like as I'm moving around, I'll bump, and then it'll switch to the date, and I can't see shit at night. And then if the hands move down to the 6 o'clock area, they cover up the digital display. So now I can't use the digital display. Yeah, so I was like, screw it. I'm going to go back to the old faithful. Well, actually, I brought the Casio G-Shock that was issued to the Marine Nationale. That's what I used.
Yes, I remember.
But what about
that? Was sweet. Oh, the other thing about the damn Bund is there was only one alarm. And with the Casio, there's 4. So I got my wake-up alarm. I've got my 10 minutes prior to step-off. I've got my step-off alarm. I've got another alarm set for, if we're on the objective, what the enemy's QRF, their quick reaction force time is. So let's say, the enemy's QRF is 20 minutes. So you make contact with their recon element. You have 20 minutes before a large fist comes for your butt. And so I set a timer for that.
I think we're forgetting. I'm looking through your stuff here, and we're forgetting the Invicta Sensor Master. I feel like that would be a good combat watch because you can confuse the enemy with an Invicta.
That's true.
And then you'd have a few seconds advantage.
Dazzle them with. Good
exactly.
Lord. That's really funny, dude.
And when I become a heat casualty, the doctor doesn't have to stuff anything in my butt; just check my wrist.
Yeah.
So that was the odyssey of that. So as far as like, there is a divide in my collection. I've got the 7-watch collection that I use regularly for my civilian stuff, but then I have an assortment of military-esque watches, and then I have maybe like 2 or 3 fun watches that tend to be Boulevard Carabelle.
I've got a question for you, Casey.
Yeah, go ahead.
The Breitling Aerospace, didn't you take that with you one time and use it in the field? And you said it was a good watch to use in the field?
I did. Yeah.
So if I remember correctly, you also said you got that watch for a good price.
Yes.
Is it worth it for you to just use that as your field watch at whatever price point you got it at?
I mean, look, that $40 square G-Shock is probably the only watch anyone ever would need. So
It's true. It's true.
as a watch enthusiast, I like the idea of having the Bright. But no, to answer your question, I mean, if we were going to be truly pragmatic about it, no, the $40 Casio is all you need.
Well, yeah, but that's that. Come on, that's sort of beside the point.
Yeah, as far as a watch, like, dude, I wouldn't sell that watch if it had a backlight. That would be my only watch I would wear to the field. But so the lume on it is still good. If you get a good charge, you're squared away. But I'm paranoid that I won't get a good charge for whatever reason. And then when I need it, I won't be able to tell the time. What kind of stemmed the inspiration to try to go a smaller collection was when I did have 30 plus watches, I didn't feel like any one of them was my watch. Like if I eventually have a child, what would be the watch I hand down? What would they see dad wear often?
Yeah. No, I get
Which
that.
I guess is a question for you two. You've got children and multiple watches. How is that going to work?
It's
how are
funny
you
to
gonna
bring that up because I've had that thought of, is there one watch that my daughter is going to be like, that was my dad's watch, and when I pass someday, she's gonna be like, I don't care what I get, but I want that watch. And I don't know that there is that one watch.
Is that something then that maybe you want to cultivate?
Not really, because I enjoy everything. I don't know. Because
I'm wondering, like, let's just assume that maybe your daughter isn't as fired up into wanting to have as many watches as you have. Which one of them? How about, okay, which ones would you want her to be interested in?
Here's the thing. I think I'm personally at the level in collecting and the number that I have where if anything were to happen, I would want her to be able to go and pick what would remind her of me. And she has a lot to choose from. So it's not that there's any one that I want to be associated with more than anything else. But if she can go through and say, you know what, I remember him talking about this one a lot, or I remember he really liked that one, or, I was there the day that he bought this one. Maybe she can have those kinds of connections and memories with them.
Hang on a second.
Oh, bringing the kid or the dog?
No, he's not calling a dog, I don't think. He's calling a 12-year-old. That's the 12-year-old whistle.
Okay. Silly me.
All right. So now come here, stand right here. Come here. We have a question. This is a question. It's a serious question.
Joe's son is joining us now.
It's a serious question. I have a lot of watches, right?
Mm-hmm.
How many do you think I have?
I'd say at least 100. Like at least.
Not 100.
Pretty close.
Not
What was it? 98?
94.
94. Okay.
99.
So if you were to think about a
Take
watch
one
that
down,
I have,
pass
if there
it
was
around.
one watch out of all the watches that I've got, which one would you think it would be?
Depends on the context, though. Like you have a watch for most every situation.
This is definitely Joe's kid.
That's my boy. That's my boy.
You got a problem with it?
No, not at all.
Let me go get it.
He's gonna go get it.
He's gonna bring a sample.
He's gonna go get it. He's got a watch in mind apparently. So he'll be
Oh,
he'll be
awesome.
bringing it back. Yes. So we'll see.
How How crazy would it be if it was your granddad's watch?
It could. It certainly might be. It certainly might be because he has my grandfather's Seiko 5. He's got mine. Oh, really?
Oh wow.
Okay, this is fascinating. This is fascinating. He has chosen the watch that he associates most with me. This is so good. This is so good. This is a Bulova dialed Franken watch, Vietnam era, possibly with it's got the tritium T on it. It has yellow painted hands. It's got an absolutely wrong everything. The case back is signed, but the case is wrong. The movement's got the bridge on it, but it's also wrong. That is so good. It is a Franken watch of epic proportions. Epic
That is very
proportions.
much so a Joe.
I was just
watch.
going to say, and that represents everything that Joe stands for. Completely incorrect.
So out of all of the watches that I've curated, everything that I've collected, that will be the one that will go with him to his grave. Well done.
Huh.
I mean, it's the first watch you got me, so
That's true.
it's
It's
always
true.
been
It
real
is.
special.
It is the first watch I gave him. So
It'll always remind me of you.
we're bucking for sentimentalness. All right.
That's
I mean,
fantastic.
I don't have any children yet, but I would honestly, the thing that I'm the most proud of would be that Casio G-Shock.
You should be. You should. But let me see if I can. The moral of the story here is
Don't
be
have
really
kids.
have kids, but be really careful what the first watch you give them is.
Oh boy.
Because-
Okay.
And see, this is really interesting too, because the first watch I actually bought him was a Swatch. So we'll see. I don't think he holds, but that's his watch.
The real moral is dual income, no kids affords you to buy more watches.
Yes, it does.
No,
I'll
not
do.
more.
I'll just
Not more.
hand it.
He
Hand
doesn't have
the
more.
kid a Rolex. That'll be great.
He doesn't. KC doesn't have more watches. He simply has more expensive watches, potentially better watches, but he doesn't have more. We've established.
Well, this is true. More in relative to him.
Right.
Yeah.
Okay, fair.
Okay.
And I guess because I haven't had to justify buying like you guys, especially Joe. If the account gets struck by like a $7,000 bill, your wife's going to know. But if you buy a couple of them lower price incrementally, you might not get caught. For me, I don't have to worry about that.
This guy,
I had this conversation with his wife earlier today.
With
I
my
have
wife.
denied all responsibility for any purchases that I may or may not have instigated.
she took a look because I brought out everything and he was looking through stuff. He's like, and then Oliver came over and I brought stuff out and we're going through all this stuff. And my wife comes out and she takes a look. She's like, where did all these come from?
I didn't know you had this many. What would she say? She said,
Uh-oh.
you didn't have this many when we got married.
It's true. It's true. I don't think that it's a new strap is going to work as an excuse any longer. I think I'm screwed.
Yeah. I think you've blown that whole watch box excuse that we started the podcast off with.
I'm
You're like,
screwed.
oh, well, I can't exceed the watch
Oh.
boxes I have.
Now I understand the stacking of the watches in the box, because if you were to bring in another box, then she would really know.
I'm in more trouble.
You're just trying to stuff as many as you can into the number of boxes you
into
already
the existing space I have.
have. That's
Oh man,
Oh,
I'm in so much trouble. It's a good
Oh,
thing she
man.
doesn't watch this. Oh my god.
or listen in the other room as we're doing it. Yeah, that would be horrible.
She's watching murder mysteries.
Do you have a wife whistle? Is there something you can do to bring her in here too?
No,
No.
Whistle.
no, I don't have. I have.
Actually, yeah. Which watch does your wife think of you as?
That's a fascinating question. I don't know. I don't know. You know what? Actually, no. I can.
No, you know what it is? The Apple Watch.
Well, so she associates. I bought her the Apple Watch. I know. I do know. I do know which one. Allow me. I'll go get it. I'll tell you. I'll tell you right now.
Intermission.
Intermission. No, this is it. I got this one. This is easy.
In the meantime, I guess I'll finish the rest of my drink here.
Chug, 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 chug.
I have consumed more alcohol in the last 4 days than I have in the last 4 months.
Oh boy. What kind of alcohol is it? The Gambit or friggin' wine more so?
No, it's a little bit of everything. A little bit of everything. Oh, he's back. What does he have?
This will be the watch that my wife would associate with me or anything else. This is a Bulova two-tone quartz dress piece, about 41, got a little square markers around the hour track, two-tone bracelet. It's the watch she bought me for my first Father's Day. And she has said consistently that is the favorite watch of mine that I have of my
The favorite watch of hers that
mine
you have.
of mine to have for she likes that one best.
You don't teach English?
No,
No,
obviously not.
or math.
Or math. No. So I think that's fair. That's a pretty she likes the other ones, and she was impressed with a few different things, like, oh, that's really pretty, oh, that's nice, but that's the one that she compliments me the most on. So there you go. Although we were having a conversation that in the event of my death, we need to find a watch that has the longest power reserve. Preferably like a 10-year battery. If it can go longer, that would be great. And I need to have the alarm set so that there will be a constant alarm going off. So I need to find the longest battery life, loudest alarm, and have that buried with me.
Dude, I annoy the crap out of my wife because I've got all those digitals and they have certain alarms set that I've forgotten about. And especially when I'm gone, like, being a teacher, she's home for the summer. And all of my trainings are normally in the summer, so I'll be gone. This house is just alight with beeps.
Dinging everywhere. Oh, that's and see, this is where I know I can understand it because as a teacher, I wake up with alarms. We're ruled by bells, and when something goes off, it's like my wife has alarms that will go off for 45 minutes. She has four separate alarms. Different sounds, completely different sounds, different songs, different ringtones. She's got the alarm clock that lights up and then starts playing bird noises at her that she rolls over and turns off. And then Eminem comes on because that was the most annoying song she could find. And then Metallica comes on because that's her favorite song. And then,
dude, the freaking Invicta is stuck on some setting that I can't un-F. And it'll chime every hour on the hour.
Yes, good for you. Oh, that's awesome. That's absolutely awesome. All right. Anything else you want to say about your watches now that we can't see them and you're stuck on the road?
No, I do appreciate it because now I'm down to 4 hours.
We're all about passing the time.
Just go back and listen to our previous episodes.
Oh,
yeah.
We want him to stay awake. He doesn't need to fall asleep at the wheel.
That's true.
Oh, hello.
We've lost him again.
Hello.
Oh no, man, we're out of alcohol.
And
too.
Hello.
This could potentially be disastrous.
Hello.
KC, are you there?
Can you hear me
KC,
now?
are you there?
Now.
I can hear me now. Okay.
Maybe this 5G stuff isn't as special as they keep talking about.
It's 3.5 G.
Are you? Yeah, you're not on your military issued phone, right?
No.
Okay.
I don't get one.
Oh, not yet. All right.
It's 5G ish.
5G ish.
Yeah.
5G adjacent.
Well, I got to go assault T-Mobile because I think I am paying for 5G. So
there you go. Going in uniform, that'll work better.
Yeah.
People nearly died.
It worked to get a Rolex quicker.
Right. Right. All right. So we got a last call.
We're doing last calls.
We're doing last calls before we lose KC in the mountains.
Yeah,
again.
before we lose them. KC, what do you got last call wise?
Oof. I don't really know. I don't have anything right now.
You just happy to be getting home, I guess.
Back in the world.
I want to go sleep in my bed.
Yeah. Hey, I went on the couch for 4 days. I feel you.
That's pretty good.
Yeah. Joe, what do you got?
I get rid of Mike tomorrow. It's gonna be wonderful.
Oh, thank God. I can't wait to leave. been rough. Been rough.
It's been
Are
rough.
you sure the plane's going to be able to take off with all the watches you're bringing on there?
He's gonna have to check a bag, dude.
Listen,
Say, are you worried? Are you worried about the metal detectors?
Joe had to give me a watch roll because I'm leaving with more watches than I came with.
It's
But seriously,
fun.
are you worried about the metal detectors? Because I know vintage watches stress me out when it comes to that.
No, I mean, I went through it and they're all fine. So
No trouble. No. I mean, you can always ask him to hand search it, and then you only had carry-ons anyway.
yeah.
So- Yeah. The only issue will be trying to get to the airport. Make sure we get to the airport in time, and
Yeah, well-
and stop off for a burger on the way.
we'll see how that goes.
We will.
The LA traffic does not disappoint.
It does not. It's so trying to pick him up. It took me. There's an off ramp to go into the airport, and it was an hour on the dot to go 4 miles.
I
Oh
had
my
to
God.
walk to a different location of the airport in order to get picked
Yeah.
up.
Yeah, it was going to be faster if he would go upstairs to departures, and it would. So LA, it's a thing. It's a thing, but it's fun. It's fun. It's enforced meditation, for lack of a better term. I've got no last call. Mike's been here for a week. He's going to be going on Monday. I start back to work. So
Yeah, no,
life-
I
life
don't have
sucks.
anything either. Just it was a good time being out here. So we're going to do the bonus material, which will probably come out before the episode will. So
Okay.
if you're listening to this and you haven't listened to the bonus material and you want to understand what all the Instagram posts were about, we're going to break it down, and we may even come to some realizations ourselves.
this is true. This
Yeah.
is true. We will
So we'll
delve
figure it
back
out.
into
So if
our.
you haven't listened to that, when you're done with this, go back. It'll be on probably maybe just YouTube only.
Yeah.
We'll do a YouTube only thing. So go back and we'll talk about all the shenanigans that have ensued for the Mike and Joe. Not really reunion.
No. Spring Bar West.
Yeah, Spring Bar West. Spring Bar Entertainment West.
Spring Bar Entertainment West.
Yeah.
For lack of a better term.
Yep.
So all right, that means that Casey, it's your turn next, right? We'll come visit you in Virginia.
No, you gotta,
Yeah, Virginia, or I would love to take my wife to Disneyland because she's
See?
never been.
There you go.
were you not part of that conversation?
No.
Yeah, that's what Casey said. He said they want to come down and do a Disney thing. So you guys
Done.
got to
Okay.
come now. You got
Okay. We'll make it happen. We'll make it happen.
Well, so then you got to figure out what kind of watch scene that we have, because you said you're not really big into the meetup stuff, right?
no. It's not that I'm not big into it. We just don't have it in Central Florida.
Okay.
But see, I've whet his appetite. So Mike will be starting his own meetup
Oh,
group.
will I? Okay,
Yes.
so I am no longer the co-host of the Spring Bar podcast because I don't have enough time to go around for it all.
He will be organizing meetups in
Yeah.
the greater Florida area from
The
this point
the
on.
three of us will be. It'll be a private invitation only.
Invitation only.
And you two are the only ones to get the invitations. That'll be the meetup.
So
Tonight, Joe, you, myself, KC, on the road.
on the road.
We make up the Spring Bar Podcast. You can find us on Instagram at the Spring Bar Podcast. You can email us the springbarpodcast@gmail.com. On a personal level, I am Spicy Mike. All spelled. No, not really. I am 120 clicks. All spelled out. One long word. 120 clicks. Joe.
I am Watch Taylor Youth, all one word. Watch Taylor Youth. KC.
I am time.hack1636.
And you can reach us on Instagram. You can reach us at Gmail, at the Spring Bar Podcast, the Spring Bar Podcast at gmail.com.
Already went through.
Well, yeah, but
More importantly, Joe,
repetition.
every week
Yes.
we ask people to hashtag us
Yes.
in photos.
Yes.
And we do it just for our own amusement because
Yes.
nobody ever tags us in photos.
No.
So what are we asking them not to tag us in this week? Casey, you usually pick something. What are we picking this week?
I would like to see your best watch and tie combo.
Watch tie combo.
Yep.
Okay, so go out, pick out your best watch, your best tie, throw them in the garbage, and never take a picture and tag us in it, and then we're good.
Perfect.
Yeah.
Perfect. Best watch.
Or just click off from the episode prior to this segment. That way.
We're assuming they've lasted this long.
Yeah, they so for the one person that's left.
Thanks, Tommy.
Yeah.
So that's it. That's us. Thank you.
Until next time. Cheers.
It's fucking empty.
Oh, damn it.